What's up guys, Boss here, and in today's video we're going to be playing Sparky, and I'm really excited because this is one of my favorite decks of all time, and I think it's back because the Mini P.E.K.K.A. got a buff, and then the Musketeer got a buff too. Both of them received a hit speed buff, and you can see my battle log here. I went on a pretty good win record. I won 9 games and only lost 1. I know it's early season, but I already pushed up to top 150 in what felt like only like 30 minutes or something like that, and I was only testing it out, and it seems so good. The Rage, when used with the Musketeer and the Mini P.E.K.K.A., you notice a huge difference. They just hit so quickly. Goblin Giant 2 with the Rage. Dark Prince can now jump over the bridge, and I think this deck might be back, because there was actually some Sparky deck that finished, it was 4th in the world last season. This is a different variation, but I prefer this one more, and yeah, this is just one of my all-time favorite decks, as I said. So if you guys want to support me, use my creator code BOSS in any Supercell game, and yeah, let's try to push up more on ladder and head into the first match. Alright, here we go guys, in our first game here, and yeah, if you guys didn't know, in the past, I used to always make videos on Sparky. It's just one of my favorite archetypes, and you know, I know a lot of you guys like it too, because I got a lot of comments, you know, really wanting me to make a video on Sparky now that it got buffed. Not the Sparky directly, but a lot of the cards in Sparky, and guys, I have to say, if this deck is good again, you will definitely see me using it end of this season on ladder, because this, like I said, I love playing it, and you should always use something you enjoy playing. I mean, the game is, you know, meant to be fun, and it also, what was I gonna say, like, and if it's good too on top of that, if I enjoy playing it, I feel like I'm gonna have a lot of success with it this season. At least that's my hope. So I don't know what this guy's using here. He's kind of got an interesting, pretty interesting deck from the looks of it. It's some bait deck, but what's throwing me off is the fact that he has arrows. I don't know why he has arrows. And by the way, you see me go for the Goblin Giant at the bridge in the other lane there. That's a key play with this type of deck. A lot of people think you only want to go for Sparky Goblin Giant pushes, but you actually want to play the Goblin Giant at the bridge a lot. It's going to be or I at least consider it a win condition, even though, you know, people think you're getting your main damage with the Sparky. Most of it actually comes from the Goblin Giant, but what the Sparky does a really good job of doing is helping you a lot on defense and counter pushing with the Goblin Giant. But the Goblin Giant with the Mini P.E.K.K.A. and the Rage, or even Goblin Giant Dark Prince, is oftentimes going to be your main way of getting damage if you can't break through with the Sparky. So we're going to try to set up defense here. It's going to be pretty nice. Minions to distract the Inferno Drag, and we just got to watch out for the... actually, I don't need to do anything. I think that Inferno Drag is going to be dead by the time it gets there. We're going to go Goblin Giant at the bridge to pressure, and I did that because I know he doesn't have a lot of elixir, and you see it is going to take out the tower, and he's going to pressure the opposite lane. I did that because I knew his Inferno Drag wasn't in cycle, and he didn't have enough to play a Mega Knight. So you can see I actually didn't go for a single Sparky yet in this matchup. That's because in some matchups it doesn't get as much value, and in this one in particular, it was risky to play in single elixir because he has a lot of bait cards, so chances are he would have pressured the opposite lane, and then he would have maybe just gone for like an Inferno Drag on top of it. So you have to try to make the right call and know, you know, when it's safe to go for Sparky and when it isn't. So even though a lot of people consider this deck to be pretty, you know, like lower skill compared to some decks, I actually think there's a lot of things people do wrong when I see playing this deck that I don't think is the right play. Like, they go for too many Sparkies at the wrong time, and they forget that the Goblin Giant should really, in lots of situations, be your main source of damage, because those are a couple things to keep in mind that are going to, you know, win you games. Like this one right here, the Sparky wasn't even the MVP of that match. It was just all the Goblin Giant going in with the right times when he was low on elixir. And I don't know if you guys can tell, because I'm just talking faster, sounding excited. I just love this deck, so yeah, you guys might be able to notice that this video. We're going to win the game, 111th in the world, so I'm like, what, 12-1, because I was 11-1 before I started recording, so one more win would put me at 7,000 trophies already this season, and top 100 in the world. Let's see if I can get it. Alright, here we go. In our second match here, so Sparky Dark Prince in our starting hand, and I forgot if I already said this, with this deck, you almost always want to make the first play after a few seconds, so in this case, even though it's kind of a weird starting hand, and I don't have, you know, like, a Zap or something which is easy to cycle, Dark Prince or Mini P.E.K.K.A. is fine to cycle first play if you have Sparky as your next card, because then you can go Sparky to, you know, play it on top of the ground card that they use to defend the Sparky. In this case, I'm just going to play it because I feel like he's either going to play something, or worst case scenario, I don't know, he would leak a little bit of elixir, and eventually he ended up dropping the bowler into it, so that works. I'm going to go minions here on top of this just to protect the Sparky, otherwise the Mega Minion would have gotten a couple swipes on top of it, and he's going to go lightning. Okay, he just spent a lot of elixir, so you can see, even though the Sparky didn't get anywhere near the tower, it forced out of a lot of elixir. Now, what I can do is go mini P.E.K.K.A on top of the bowler, and then go Goblin Giant at the bridge, because he just played a lot of elixir. I mean, he went lightning bar barrel. He's going to have an Inferno, though, so we're going to need to get a zap down on that as soon as I can. And the mini P.E.K.K.A with the Rage is going to be able to get a shot on the tower. See, that's what I was talking about. The Raged mini P.E.K.K.A is insane. You know, now that the mini P.E.K.K.A has a faster hit speed, it's the same with the Musketeer. If you get a push going with the mini P.E.K.K.A and the Musketeer inside of the Rage at the same time, you will notice a big difference. And that is why, part of the reason why I think this deck is back. Also, on top of just how the meta is right now, there's not a lot of Expo, which was actually one of the most difficult matchups for this deck, and because there's less of that, that's another reason why this deck, I think we're going to, you know, it could potentially be good again. So, Bowler coming in, same lane as the Sparky. We're just going to go for a Dark Prince. He might Lightning. If he does, I guess it's fine. Okay, he decided to Lightning the tower instead of the... That's interesting that he didn't want to hit the Dark Prince, because now the Bowler's going to get taken care of. So, I guess we can go for Musketeer now, and maybe we go Minions to distract the Inferno. Should be a pretty good, I guess a pretty good play. And he's going to Bar Barrel. The Musketeer should still live, though, I'm pretty sure. And he went for a Tornado. Okay, so he overcommitted a bit there on defense for sure. We can go Mini P.E.K.K.A in the opposite lane, and then depending on what he does, I might go for, like, wait, hold on. Okay, let's Goblin Giant to protect. I maybe should have gone Dark Prince in front of the mini P.E.K.K.A in the opposite lane, but I guess it's fine. Okay, that was weird that he decided to Inferno kind of lower. I don't know if that was the best placement, but it probably won't take his tower. Oh my gosh, wait. It is going to take the tower. Let's go. Oh my gosh, Sparky came in clutch there, and yeah, I mean, you see he had Lightning for the Sparky, but still got some good value. And wait, what was even his win condition? He didn't even go for a single wing, like, push the whole game. Okay, Electro Giant. And by the way, Electro Giant, I think, doesn't even do that good against Sparky, because Sparky and Mini P.E.K.K.A both do pretty solid against it. So there we go. We're already at 7,000 trophies, top 100 in the world, 13-1 record with this deck on the day. That is pretty insane, but we're not going to stop there. Let's keep going. All right, guys, in our next match here, we'll see if we can continue this win streak. This is pretty insane, though. As I'm winning more and more of these games, I'm thinking, like, more and more that this deck is, like, OP. So, cycle minions now, and he's gonna go Ice Golem. Okay, so whatever it is, I hope it's not Expo, because that's, like, the worst matchup for this deck. Okay, 2.6. So, 2.6 can go either way. It's a common misconception that Sparky decks, like, hard counter 2.6, because actually they have... You know, they have Spirit, they have Skeletons, which are pretty good against it. It all depends on how well the 2.6 player plays at the end of the day. So, try to do... You can actually bypass buildings if you play a good Goblin Giant. In that case, I messed it up. But you can bypass, like, Mortars, Teslas, and Cannons. Ooh, Sparky was actually pretty close to getting a shot on his tower. Unfortunately, it ends up missing, though. We'll just go Dark Prince here, though. And Mini P.E.K.K.A, if you play it fast enough, should be able to fully counter a Hog. So, okay, he's going to go Cannon. Let's see. So, yeah, if he goes Hog, we just Mini P.E.K.K.A on top of it. Guess in this case, we can just cycle a Zap, since it doesn't really get us any value in this matchup for the most part. He's going to go Hog, so Mini P.E.K.K.A going to come down and should be in time, so it won't get a single shot. Ooh, it does get one shot. What? It's because the Mini P.E.K.K.A missed. Well, that was unfortunate. So, wow, I was just about to say it gets no shots, but the Mini P.E.K.K.A decided to swing in the air, hitting absolutely nothing. Well then. Okay, so the game plan is we're going to try to bypass the cannon this time, where you play the Goblin Giant to the left, and it gets shoved, and as you can see, I did it this time. Really good play. I love doing that. I used to do that sometimes with Giant too. You could do it with the Bowler. Sadly, though, we're not going to get as much out of it as we would have liked. We can activate the King Tower, though, and I guess we'll just go, okay, for another mini P.E.K.K.A. on top of the Hog, and this time it will not get a hit because the mini P.E.K.K.A. was close to it, so it didn't outrange it, which is great. And you can see why this isn't as easy of a matchup as people thought it was. I'm surprised how many people think Sparky does really good against 2.6 because, as you can tell, it is quite easy for them to defend, unfortunately. Assuming they don't make a mistake, you have to wait for them to hopefully make a mistake, and this might be it right here. His defense might be getting a little sloppy. Ooh, I don't know about that cannon. See, this is what you need. You just need one good push, but even after all that, he still managed to defend. But we're going to go for Sparky again, and the reason why I'm going Sparky's opposite lane is he can fireball the weaker tower and cycle 2 and then just log, and that would not be ideal. We're going to zap that to force more elixir out of him on top of that mini P.E.K.K.A. That forces a log out of him. I guess we could bypass the cannon again, or at least attempt to, and yeah, we do that successfully. And this is where I feel like he's starting to slip up his defense a little bit. Let's see. Okay, he's still defended. Yeah, this is actually, you know what makes it really hard? The fact that he has, the Electro Spirit makes this even harder, just because the Electro Spirit does even better than the, than the Ice Spirit does, because it chains. So in Sparky especially, it's very noticeable, the difference, and that's, clearly not good for me. So go Musketeer here, mini P.E.K.K.A., and he's still hogged anyway. We might have to try to get damage without going for Sparkies, just because we're having a pretty hard time. Oh, Musketeer locked on the tower, and that is a lot of damage. We could actually switch lanes now. He can just cycle back to another fireball. Yeah, really tough matchup, but tried my best. If he had Ice Spirit instead of Electro Spirit, it would have been much more possible. So yeah, no shame showing that loss. I would say, as someone who's used this Sparky deck a lot, that's for sure probably like 70-30 in his favor, maybe even 80-20, because there really shouldn't be any way for me to break through if he doesn't mess up his defense. And even at one point in the game, he did, and it got a little sloppy, and we still couldn't break through. And a lot of it goes back to that Electro Spirit. But all good. Let's head into the next one. All right, here we go. In our next game here, and see what this guy is going to do. So, yeah, but kind of going back to that last game, remember how I was saying Expo's kind of a bad matchup? That's the reason why 2.6 is pretty bad too. It's kind of a similar construction in decks. I mean, they both have, like the Ice Spirit or the Electro Spirit, and then they got like the skeletons, the fireball, the log, several like tools on defense for defending your Sparky, which is kind of the problem. So it looks like, again, unfortunately, we might be against 2.6. I think he just had a Fire Spirit, though, so that's a little bit more promising in terms of, matchup, just because a Fire Spirit is a whole lot worse because it doesn't actually reset the Sparky, which is really good for me. So I'm really hoping, okay, so 2.6 with Fire Spirit. This is a lot better, and if I win this, it'll really showcase how much of a difference it makes when they have like a Fire Spirit instead of a Electro Spirit. So Dark Prince to try to snipe the cannon, and yeah, it looks like just this first defense, he's having a hard time here. And yeah, wait, how is he gonna defend this? Ice Golem maybe last second, Fire Spirit, but okay, so he's still defended. Yikes. That's kind of unfortunate. Let's go minions at the bridge, because we're up elixir, and it's just to cycle me, because I know he doesn't have a Fire Spirit in hand. And yeah, he decides to just hog. I guess that's fine. We'll Sparky it and try to break through this time around. We might have to do dual lane pressure, because if we go all in the same lane, it may not work out. Sometimes going for split lane pushes are the way to go. And then the Rage has a large radius, so you can go like this. And let's see, Sparky, ooh, getting awfully close. The mini P.E.K.K.A. though did connect, so that's huge. We go minions here, and Sparky this lane because it's double elixir, so you can fireball cycle the right lane. If I played it to defend, so mini P.E.K.K.A. gonna take that out. That was probably a bad hog, I would say, just because I was able to get an even trade and counter push off of it. Go for Dark Prince now, doing dual lane pressure. And I guess I have to, unfortunately, defend that. Go for Musketeer here to maybe snipe something he drops. Go for a Rage. And try to make something happen. Look at the Dark Prince and the Musketeer. Gonna get some good value. Look at that Dark Prince. Wow, man. That's insane. And look at the Dark Prince. It's still in the tower. Wow. Just wow. Yeah, it's more stressful for him, you know, not having any reset to the Sparky. There's no doubt about that. So we're going to Sparky. We're going to go Dark Prince because he just used his log. So he's not going to be able to go hog into this most likely. I feel like he's going to hog now. I'm a little bit nervous. Maybe not. Go Goblin Giant here, though. Maybe just Rage, just to get this some value and to, like, maybe make him panic a little bit. And I am going to Sparky this lane. I don't think it's good to do, because he's just going to cycle a couple fireballs on it. But you know what? We have to switch up what we're doing. And actually, he's not even going to cycle fireballs on it. That's interesting. Rage. And oh, Sparky's on the tower. Let's go. Nice. Okay, so intense game. It just takes one push sometimes. Just one Sparky connection, one Goblin Giant, one mini P.E.K.K.A. getting into the tower, really anything. And there you go. So we redeemed ourselves. 2.6, huge difference, right? That matchup is probably close to even. I feel like either one of us could win. But that one definitely heavily in his favor. And it's just all due to him not having reset to that Sparky. So this probably showcases to you guys 2.6. These 2.6 players are a lot better than probably the ones you play against. Because I know a lot of Sparky players probably think like it might be an easy matchup. But it really isn't when the 2.6 player plays well, as you could tell. Alright, in our next match here, maybe this will be, I don't know, maybe this will be the last game, or we'll play one more, we'll see. So, go ahead and give this guy the good luck. I guess it depends on how long this game is. So, we'll go ahead and cycle a Dark Prince, and from there see what he wants to do. He's gonna go Valkyrie. Okay, so that doesn't tell us too much. I'm gonna go Sparky, and hope he doesn't have a rocket. If he does, then oh well. And okay, Baby Dragon. So maybe Graveyard. Graveyard is usually a pretty good matchup because your Musketeer and your minions get a lot of value. Your minions very good against the Graveyard, and the Musk just, if they have poison, gets, you know, a lot of value against that before it dies. But unfortunately, I think this is something else, clearly. Okay, he just spent a lot of elixir. I think he might have just messed up. I'm not saying it's GG just yet, but he's in a whole lot of trouble because he spent so much that he's going to take a lot of damage. I'm sure he can defend this, but actually if that mini P.E.K.K.A. takes that out, he might lose right here. Wow. See, this is what I'm talking about. I mean, like with the Goblin Giant being, you know, the main win condition sometimes, when they have something like an E-Wiz, and this guy might even have a freeze too, you gotta get your Goblin Giant to the tower as your main source of damage, without a doubt. So, I'm pretty sure that Inferno Drag will take it out before it gets to the tower, sadly. It's gonna be close. Oh! Okay, so now just really any damage, any other damage we get will pretty much be tower. If one of these minions get a swipe, that'll almost be enough to There you go. I mean, that's almost... Oh, yeah, he's crying. You can see it. He really wanted to... Oh, it is Graveyard. Great. Okay, I thought it was Balloon. So we're going to go ahead and zap this here. And, yeah, this is a good game, I think, for this guy because... yeah, I mean, he has to pretty much, at this point, take the whole tower. And Rage has a ridiculously large radius, as you can see here. Like, look, like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, why is Rage in this deck? Yeah, this is why. This is why Rage is in this deck. I mean, like, I just... Yeah, like, it's a really fun deck, guys. You know, I guess it makes sense why it's, like, one of my favorite decks to play. It's just a lot of fun. I don't know how else to put it. And, yeah, this was a quick game, so we'll play one more. I mean, why not? Try to end on a win, and... Yeah, get as high as I can in this video. I'm really happy because, you know, I went into this day not knowing what to expect, and now I'm pretty positive it's back. So 62nd in the world right now, 7,031 trophies. Only like a couple losses with this so far in the day. So yeah, let's head to the next one. This will be our final match. Okay, here we go. Our last match. Hopefully we can end, you know, on another win. And, yeah, let's try and make it happen. So he's going to be going for wall breakers. So, probably some sort of... Maybe it could be Goblin Drill, but it could also be minor wall breakers. Bandit. Okay, so maybe Mega Knight wall breakers. Don't know for sure until he uses more cards. Mega Knight wall breakers could be a little tricky if he has Zap, because... Zap is obviously a good reset to the Sparky, but he's got a log, so I'm thinking probably isn't... Okay, so we'll go Sparky now. Let's see, you know, what this guy has. And Bats. Well, so far I'm liking the sign of this deck, because log, Bats don't do very good against this type of thing. And I don't know what this is. Witch? What in the world? Witch is a good distraction to the Sparky, so... Okay, it is Mega Knight. Yikes. Maybe he's got a Zap? I don't know, though, because he's got Log. Wouldn't that be kind of weird? Just gotta go Dark Prince here. And I think that would be plenty to deal with that. I mean, even if he Zaps, I feel like... Well, that would have been, first of all, if he Zapped, it would have been quite an overcommitment, I would say. So we need to fix our cycle a little bit. We need to go mini P.E.K.K.A. at the bridge here to have our Sparky back in hand. He's going to go Wall Breakers. That's actually a really good kite on his end. Pretty well played, I would say. We'll go Sparky in the back now. That mini P.E.K.K.A. might get a shot. Oh, no, it doesn't. But we're up, I think, a good amount of Elixir because he just had to spend 4 on defense. And when I played that mini P.E.K.K.A. at the bridge, I was already up Elixir. So, yeah, as you can tell. I just hope... What I really hope is that he doesn't have arrows, because if he has arrows, this is really hard. So I hope he doesn't. Okay, I don't think he does. And that Sparky was so close to splashing the Witch. That was sad that it didn't. There we go. Finally able to take it out. That was annoying. Oh my gosh, I think he just messed up. Yeah, you gotta be careful. Gotta be careful when defending that Sparky, you know, just one slip up like that, and yeah, that's what happens. That's why a lot of people hate Sparky. You know, I feel like that's why Sparky gets all the hate sometimes, like people saying it's like no skill, you know, and I can respect it, but I would say like before you hate on a deck, at least make sure you're playing the best you can against it, because I can't tell you how many times I see people hate on Sparky, and then maybe like, well, it's me who they're hating on or whatever, because maybe I used it in competitive or like high up on ladder and some pros started raging on Twitter or whatever, or like I see a game and then people start hating on the Sparky user. First of all, you should hate the game, not the player, and second of all, if you, like, first of all, if you're making mistakes against it, you gotta fix those, you know, before you hate the deck, because that's not really the Sparky player's fault that you know, messed up your defense. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. But as you can tell, I'm pretty passionate about this deck, so I guess maybe I feel offended when people, you know, start hating it. But anyway, this game is looking pretty good here at this point. We just need to, I think, keep pressuring and, you know, try to get a Sparky to splash, or maybe get a Goblin Giant to the tower to get some, you know, damage, and we get one shot there, so there you go. We're just gonna go Musketeer right now, and he's gonna Miner that. Okay, that's not even gonna take out the Musketeer, but we do need to watch out for that Witch. That was getting a little scary. I feel like we need to be abusing the minions a little more, just because... Okay, that mini P.E.K.K.A, he's gotta watch out. Wait. Oh wow, that almost completely took out the tower. Okay, we gotta watch out for the bandit. No. Oh, he's got a fireball! Did he use that the whole game? I don't know if he did. Okay, anyway, that's gonna be it for the video. I felt like I could have won that one. Honestly, that was pretty well played on his end at the end there, I gotta admit. So, still, great video. Made it to 7,000 trophies. Really good climb today, because I really started, I was like 300 trophies lower than I was right now, a little before I started recording, so super excited if this is back. Obviously, I need to learn some of the matchups, you know, especially against like Archer Queen decks, because there's a lot of them right now, but earlier I beat some, you can see Mega Knight, Ramrider, Archer Queen, and this Bridge Spam Archer Queen deck, but yeah, I'm excited. Hope this deck is good again. Make sure to like it if you guys did end up enjoying it. Subscribe if you guys aren't subscribed already. And thanks again. Until next time, guys.